organizations like this are so important, like the EAG are so important because, again, they give the opportunity to people who would not get it anywhere else. Honestly, it's very hard to break into the commercial theater world. So you really do have to show and prove that you have done some good work outside before they'll let you in, which makes sense, they're the professional world. So groups like this give opportunities to those playwrights, and the communities that support show that there is a need and a want for the stories that they're telling. So if we, for instance, if we put this on and nobody watches it, then we can't say that we're serving the underrepresented community because nobody came to see it. But if we sell out, or this streams and we get 500, 1,000 people to watch it, hopefully more, then what we're showing is that on a small scale, when engaged, people of a different community will respond. And that shows the people who have more money and more ability to network and to communicate with different groups of people. It shows them that, hey, we're missing a group of people that we could be, helping, and we could be engaging with. So it's important for them to support. It's not only important for these things to happen, but important for them to support it, because when they support it, they show that it deserves to be supported. Hello, my name is JoSiah Shan. And if you want to know more about Miranda's book and the Episcopal Actors Guild Black Voices event, please watch this video. So I first heard about Episcopal Actors Guild through a friend, through Facebook. They had posted for this event on Facebook, and a friend of mine follows a playwriting group on there. So she sent it to me, and when I heard what they were doing and the specificity of incorporating Black voices into this festival, I just had to be a part of it. I have a couple of 10-minute plays, and they said they were looking for 1 act to 10-minute plays. And from Black writers, I said, well, that sounds like me. So I went and just submitted some things to them. They liked Miranda's book, and we went from there. So this is my very first experience with them, and it's been wonderful. They're incredible. I love working with creative people. I love working with people who are established in the industry, and with people who are making the promotion and I'd say the promotion of Black voices a major aspect of what they're doing. And this is definitely one of those. So I'm very, very grateful to be able to work with people who are making us a priority. So the idea for Miranda's book actually came from a playwriting guidebook. It was Stuart Spencer's The Playwrights Guide, I believe is the name of the book. Basically, he just wrote as an exercise, write a scene in which one character wants something from another character. That was all the evidence. That was all the information he gave, and you had to just develop a scene from it. I think I looked to the left and saw a book, and I said, okay, well, let's try a book. So I guess that was the grassroots of it. As I began to write it, the characters began to obviously, expose themselves to me and show me who they were and what the situation was, what the relationship was. And it really developed into something that I think was kind of quirky, kind of fun. It has a little bit of serious undertone to it, given the reason why Miranda goes to his house for the book. But mostly it's just a story of her just getting back what's hers, and in the physical, literal, and metaphoric sense. So I think the reason why I felt I had to write it was because, one, it was the assignment, and also because it, as I began to write it, it just became much more interesting to me. It became so interesting, and I was like, yeah, let's see what's going on here. So the main story arc of Miranda's book is late at night. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning. Miranda storms to her ex-boyfriend's apartment. And, she's banging on the door because she wants this book from him. And he's completely oblivious to the fact that that's what she really wants. She thinks he thinks she came over for something else. I won't say what it is, but that's what he thinks she came over for. And she really came over for the book. And then when we get into the scene, we realize that the reason she came for it was a tragedy. It's hit her family, and it's required her to need it. I don't even want to give away what it is. I want people to actually go and watch it. But so we get into a little bit of the serious nature of why she came, and also what happened in their relationship and why they're no longer together. So throughout the course of it, they sort of get to a place where they're able to actually talk about what happened and why they're in the space they're in now. And in the end, she does get the book in what I think is a funny way. So we'll see if people agree with it. So the actors for this, I'm so excited, are two of my fellow classmates. As I said before, I'm at Norfolk State University studying drama and theater. Treasure Coles will be playing the role of Miranda, and Xavier Andrew will be playing the role of Franklin. And I'm just so grateful to be able to work with them. Also, another student, Nate Bush, will be directing this project. So I'm grateful to be able to be in a space where I'm surrounded by so many people who have gifts and talents that maybe I don't have, because that's how these things are created. You know, you get a writer who can write, you get a director who can direct, you get an actor who can act, and then you have a story, and then you add the other elements of lighting and sound and set and costuming. But it does take a village. It takes a village. And it's amazing to be around people who are at the same level I'm at. You know, we're all just these unknowns who, you know, we're trying to establish ourselves as writers, actors, directors in this world. And we know it's a difficult path, but it's one that's so necessary and so worth it. So I'm very, very excited to have the cast that I have. I'm excited to be able to give opportunities to people who need them. As I said before, the reason I got into writing was to create spaces and opportunities for disenfranchised people, and to have two actors of color, two Black actors on the stage, and the stories about them is so important. So I'm very, very grateful for Treasure Coles and Xavier Andrew and Nate Bush for joining me on this project. I think the message for the audience to get out of this play is don't be afraid to go to your ex's house if they have something of yours. Honestly, that's pretty much all that there is going on. But also, it's a play that's about confronting the issue and really being able to speak about it. And we see throughout the course of it that it goes from this really aggressive, frustrated conversation to a really vulnerable and just open one. And I think that is so important, especially now. We're looking at so many frustrated interactions between people. We see people just yelling and screaming at each other, and this way is right and that way is right, and you need to listen to me and I need to listen to you, and I'm suffering so I'm important. No, I'm suffering so I'm important. And I think that if we get to a place that if we can just sit down and recognize that we're all in pain, that we're not in competition with one another, that we're not trying to outdo one another, at least I hope we're not anyway, I think we'll be on our way to a much more peaceful society. And I hope going into 2021, we can really incorporate some more understanding and listening as opposed to speaking and just interjecting between one another. So I think that's what they get from it, is just sit and talk with one another and get through it and get to the other side of it. And whatever's on the other side, we go from there. But right now, we're just so stuck in the in-between that it's awful. It's the only way I can think to describe it. What I'm looking to hear, I'm hoping to get a whole bunch of feedback and to get a whole bunch of just interaction with people. I would have loved to interact with some of the other playwrights and some of the other directors and actors, just to be able to speak with them about this project. Because of social distancing and the nature of it, I don't really know anybody else. So I'm excited for the day of the performance, because I get to see so many other works that are by other, playwrights of color, and incorporate those stories of people of color in them. So I'm hoping that from this, a lot more events like this happen, that they grow, they become bigger and become these huge festivals. And hopefully when the world gets back to normal, they'll be in person. But for now, we have the technology and the ability to keep creating theater. It is not going anywhere. I love that. So I hope that EAG continues to do more things like this in the interim until we can get back to our regularly scheduled theatrical productions. You must watch, because, oh God, it's so necessary. I think that's the only way I can describe it. I don't want to tell anyone what they should and shouldn't do, but if we're hoping to get to a place in our society where we not only acknowledge that people exist, but we celebrate them, we listen to them, we understand them, then we have to support events like this. It's one thing to support a multi-million-dollar film that gets put out, but there are people at the grassroots. There are people at the beginning stages of their career who their stories, their voices, their experiences still need to be heard. And EAG and the Black Voices event is doing an incredible work of getting those voices out there in the world. So it is so important for all of us, people of color and beyond, to support these small organizations and these programs and events that are really doing the work of making sure that the industry of theater becomes more diverse, more inclusive, more open, and more accepting. So please, please come and support the EAG Black Voices event because it is a very necessary event. My name is JoSiah Shan. If you enjoyed this interview, please, please go to the Episcopal Actors Guild website to learn where you can get tickets to the Black Voices event that is happening November 19th at 7 p.m. It's going to be a wonderful night of exploring stories told by Black writers through the lens of Black voices. So please, please come out and support us so we can show that we deserve more space in this industry.